I was always put off by blue sky weather forecasts, or if I did go out I would compose my photo with the hope that some cloud would just magically appear and I would be greeted by some amazing colour. Sadly, this approach mainly ends in failure. Today I would like to share several considerations for taking great photos when those beautiful blue skies dominate the landscape. I'll also be meeting up with fellow YouTuber and landscape photographer Henry Turner, so it'll be interesting to see his approach too. So how do we have a positive mindset when conditions aren't ideally as we would like them to be? Well, my first thought is this: if we've got a blue sky, we've got a great chance of beautiful light falling on our subject, especially during the golden hour. If there's cloud about, sometimes that great light can get snuffled out before we even take our photo. So blue skies equals great light. Keep thinking that and look for a subject that can receive that light. If the sky has no detail, I often consider not showing any sky at all and focusing on isolated subjects with great light. This can lead to powerful images. We don't always have to show everything in our photos to make a composition work. After all, everyone knows there's a sky there, so the viewer of the image will fill in the blanks and it will leave them pondering about what the sky might have actually looked like. Another consideration I often go for on a blue sky day is a close-in abstract shot. Take this image here. The sea is reflecting that blue sky. The orange parts are the warm evening light reflecting off some of the orange cliff faces across the bay. Without that blue sky, this image just wouldn't work. So I've just moved down here out of the wind for a second because it's absolutely blowing a gale up the top there. I think what me and Henry have decided to do is head to that beach, that amazing beach that you can see just behind me. It looks like it's going to be a great spot for when the sun dips down. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think it might be sheltered from the wind too, which is always a good thing. So let's head on back in the other direction and yeah, see if we can find something. Another consideration for a blue sky day is a black and white conversion, especially if you've got a lot of texture and contrast dominating the rest of the scene. And that's exactly what I've got planned for the next shot. And I think I might bust the telephoto lens out. So I definitely think there's a shot here. Now obviously we've still got the blue sky, but I'm thinking that if I really zoom in with the telephoto lens on this really craggy, dramatic landscape we've got here, with the waves crashing against these rocks, I can really create something simple but with great light as well. So I'm really going to focus in on those rock formations and see what we can come up with. It's definitely a telephoto shot. What a location this is, absolutely wonderful. So let's get the gear out the bag. And what I've decided to do is to eliminate quite a bit of the sky and the sea and go for a 16:9 crop. So I've framed that up on the back of my LCD screen there so I can see exactly what I'm getting. And we've got this layering process. There's a lot of haze in the sky right now, and the sun, because it's quite low, is accentuating that haze and giving us depth in terms of the layers in our image, which is really nice. I think compositionally it works really well. We've got a few rocks in the foreground. We've got this craggy cliff top, just where we walk from actually, on the top left-hand corner. And we've got the lookout tower and then the cliff tops in the background. So a beautiful layering process, waves crashing up against the rocks. It works really well as a telephoto shot. I'm at about 100mm on the 50-140 lens. Shutter speed is 320 f8 ISO 125. Yeah, really simple shot. Just a case of, yeah, capturing this one. I think I'm gonna get this one right now, focusing on the lookout tower, I think. I think that gets everything nice and sharp. 2-second timer. Absolutely beautiful. So, let's go and see if we can catch up with Henry, see if he's got something good. So Henry's wandered off down that way, and I think what I'm going to do now, seeing as how this blue sky is dominating most of the landscape around here, I'm going to actually focus on some of these wonderful rock patterns we've got behind me here. Let's looks absolutely amazing. We've got these minerals that are running down the face of these slate rocks. It looks beautiful with the orange tones too. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can come up with something in this spot here. So when I'm photographing anything with patterns in it, I tend to shoot handheld most of the time if the light's good. There's very little need to use a tripod. I'm shooting at what, 1/60th of a second, which is absolutely fine. Got the IBIS on here too. And it allows me just to move around and experiment with different patterns, which is great. The patterns in this are absolutely amazing. Just whether I can make it work, we'll see. So I found this amazing spot here with these white vertical lines, and what I've decided to do is frame it up as a square crop and then rotate my camera a little bit so I've got the lines running diagonally through the image, and I think it makes a really striking abstract composition. Just love the white vertical lines running through it. I think it looks absolutely amazing, especially with the bright sunlight hitting this rock. It looks really reflective as well. There's so many different patterns here, you can spend absolutely ages. Absolutely love this type of photography, I really do. Something I've been deep diving into, especially through my 30-day photography project. Right, let's go and see how Henry's getting on. All right, mate, how's it going?
How's it going, mate? So, I've been trying a little bit of abstract photography. Funnily enough, I've just managed to get the photograph that I wanted. I'm zooming in on the waves that you can see off in the background there. What's class is the tops of the waves are just catching the golden light as the sun is dipping down. It is quality. It has been trial and error to the max. We're looking at about 1/3 of a second, something like that. I'm zoomed in as far as I can go, and I'm just trying to capture the waves as they're flicking over. Really abstract, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's been a bit annoying, but I am loving it.
You get wet feet as well in a minute.
yeah, I know, yeah, it's coming in. Oh.
So a great tip from Henry there, completely avoiding that blue sky and concentrating on something abstract, some movement in the water with that beautiful golden light hitting it. So yeah, top tip from Henry there. Consider shooting in midday light on a blue sky day, as this will reduce shadows. Take this shot here. The shadows are very minimal, and that's because the light source is from directly above, which we call top lighting. If I'd shot this scene when the sun was lower in the sky, those shadows would have been more accentuated and may have become more distracting. Because the shadows are almost non-existent, this image has quite a minimal feel to it, which I really like. A great thing to do on a blue sky day is look for shade. That's exactly what I've done here. The abstracts that we were just shooting back there were very, very bright. Obviously here, the light's more subdued, reflecting that blue light into this little rocky cove here. And there's just a little patch of pink sea thrift, which has caught my eye, and I think that might work quite well as a nice square crop. So I'm gonna grab a quick image of this now. Again, shooting handheld. So the light is dropping quite rapidly now, and I want to head back up onto the cliff path to see if I can retake that image that we took earlier with the telephoto shot, because now the light's better, I think. There's a bit more colour in the sky, so I think I might be able to get a better shot. So I'm going to quickly run up before we lose the light. Still got light. That's the main thing. Oh yeah, this looks a lot better now than it did earlier. Such a difference. Right, let's get set up. So I backpedaled up the hill a little bit to get a bit of a different perspective this time. And I also took a couple of shots a bit more zoomed in for a different perspective, you know, try to zoom in and focus more on that tower and the layers that we've got going on there. So yeah, I think that worked quite well. So if you do decide to include the sky in your photos on a blue sky day, consider not sticking to the rule of thirds. Showing 1/3 sky could lead to a boring image, where just a smaller segment of the sky may work better. So shooting on a blue sky day can definitely yield good photos. If you'd like some more composition tips, I highly recommend checking out this video that's up here. And be sure to go and give Henry some love. I'll leave the link to his channel down in the description. Until next week, take care, and I'll see you soon.